welcome to module on principles and guidelines for conducting a microbiological risk assessment in food. The quality, safety and security of food are of prime importance at all levels. The main objective of this module is to provide basic information regarding microbiological risk assessment, which has been emerged as a comprehensive and systematic tool for addressing the risk of microbial pathogens in specific foods and or processes along with routine control practices like GMP, GHP and HACCP. Further, it covers basic principles, guidelines and approaches for carrying out a microbiological risk assessment in food as suggested by CAC and other regulatory bodies. Introduction. Food safety is of primary importance to all government and private food industries as well as organizations involved in the production or manufacturing, processing, distribution, retail and regulation of foods. While serving size, quality, packaging format and other such matters are open to preference and commercial decisions, problems linked with food safety through a microbial, physical or chemical agents are non-negotiable. Consumer awareness and legal requirements have triggered noteworthy developments in the microbiological safety control measures applied to food and water in last few decades worldwide. In general, these measures or approaches are based on good hygiene practices, good manufacturing practice and through the implementation of hazard analysis critical control point system. Beside GMP, GHP or HACCP, numerous novel control measures, approaches as well as risk assessment methodologies have gradually been adopted to varying degrees by government and non-government institutes and industries. Microbiological risk assessment or analysis, which is simply called MRA, is of them which is needed to evaluate foodborne hazards associated directly with pathogenic microorganisms and or their toxic metabolites. The possibility of exposure to those hazards and sequential effect on the health of the community. Recently, microbial risk assessment has been emerged as a comprehensive and systematic approach for addressing the risk of microbial pathogens in specific foods and or processes along with routine control practices. An overview of microbial risk assessment methodologies. According to the framework of the Codex Risk Analysis System, microbiological risk assessment can be broadly of two types, qualitative and quantitative. With context of food safety, any kind of risk assessment falls within the framework of risk analysis provided by Codex Alimentarius Commission, which is called CAC. Microbiological risk analysis consists of three interdependent components like risk assessment, risk management and risk communication. On a whole, it has the basic objective to ensure public health security. Risk assessment is a science-based approach consisting of sequential steps including hazard identification, exposure assessment, hazard characterization and risk characterization. The interactive exchange of available information, comments, opinions and suggestions regarding risk and risk management between risk managers, risk assessors, consumers, stakeholders and other interested groups is known as risk communication. While the process of weighing policy alternatives in the light of the results or outcomes of risk assessment as well as choosing and implementing appropriate control measures including regulatory measures is called risk management. These three components of microbiological risk analysis are mutually dependent on each other, which is depicted in this figure. Now, approaches or guidelines for application of microbiological risk assessment. The Codex Committee on Food Hygiene and the National Advisory Committee on Microbiological Criteria for Foods have suggested a structured outline to conduct microbiological risk assessments for any foodborne hazard. It is further divided into four major elements including hazard identification, exposure assessment, hazard characterization and risk characterization. Apart from these major parts, documentation of risk assessment, reassessment and outcome of risk analysis are also considered a significant part of microbial risk assessment process. Hazard identification. It involves the recognition of biological, chemical and physical agents able to cause adverse effects on human health which may be present in a particular food or category of foods. Hazard identification recognizes the microbial agents like microorganisms or the microbial products including toxins or other metabolites of concern which may help to find the association between specific illnesses. Specific information related to hazards can be gathered from available scientific literature including books, journal articles or reports, specific databases and also through solicitation of expert opinions. Pertinent information may be obtained from the basic data of epidemiological analysis and surveillance. In vitro research studies in laboratories and clinical studies on animals and humans, characterization of microbial agent or their metabolite and also by evaluating the interaction of microbial agent with environment through the food chain, that is from primary food production to consumption. It is predominantly a qualitative process. Exposure assessment. The qualitative and quantitative evaluation of the level of microbial pathogens or their toxic metabolites like toxins and the possibility of their presence in food at the time of ingestion is called exposure assessment. Exposure assessment should identify the unit of food, for example, the amount or volume or portion size. In all cases of acute illness by food contamination extended by specific pathogens or its toxic metabolites, usually toxins, as well as dietary information. During exposure assessment, the frequency of contamination of food by microbial pathogen or their toxin and its level amount in those particular foods over time is regarded as a crucial factor. It is because these factors are influenced by the initial level of contamination of the raw materials together with consideration of regional discrepancy and season of production. The microbiological ecology of the food, the characteristics of particular microorganism or toxin, the hygiene level and sanitary conditions as well as various methods employed including processing, that includes any preparation steps like heat treatment, cooking, holding, etc. Then packaging, distribution, transportation and storage of the foods. Another significant factor is the consumption patterns that must be considered in the exposure assessment. It is usually linked to ethnicity, cultural and socio-economic backgrounds, regional differences, season, age dissimilarities and especially to preferences and behavior of the consumer. In addition to these, the extent of hand contact with food product, the role of food handlers as a source of contamination and the possible impact of offensive environmental time, temperature, relationship are other vital factors need to be considered during exposure assessment. Many times the initial concentration of microorganism may be very low due to the maintenance of appropriate time temperature controls during food processing. However, the microbial population can be considerably increased with mismanaging of foods at improper time temperature combinations or storage temperatures and also because of cross contaminations from other foods. In food, the initial numbers, proliferation, survival, tolerance or death of microbial cell including pathogens type are influenced by various processing, packaging parameters, the specific conditions at storage environment like storage temperature, relative humidity and gaseous composition of specific atmosphere. For example, a relatively short period of temperature abuse can quickly enhance the numbers of foodborne pathogens to a million-fold from exposure to human or other contaminated material or environment. On the other hand, heating of food product just prior to consumption can diminish the numbers of pathogens to a significant level. Moreover, nutrient content, composition, water activity, moisture content, the presence of competing microflora and antimicrobial substances are other relevant factors affecting the population of microorganisms and their dynamics. Thus, predictive microbiology can serve as a valuable tool in an exposure assessment which utilizes mathematical models, formulas and other equations to define growth kinetics of food microorganisms and to predict microbial behavior under various environmental conditions. Hazard characterization. The severity and span of undesirable or adverse effect that may consequence from the intake of a microbial pathogen or a toxin in contaminated food can be characterized by following next steps of microbial risk assessment. For example, hazard characterization. It can give information in both qualitative and quantitative forms. The determination of the connection between the extent of exposure to a hazard, that means biological, chemical or physical, and the severity and or frequency of linked adverse effect on human health defines the dose responses relationship, which is the key element of the hazard characterization. The data obtained from epidemiological investigations including outbreak or surveillance and clinical feeding trials can help to derive the dose response relationship. Epidemiological and food survey data can be jointly used to estimate or in certain cases to establish dose response relationship for several pathogens and food product. Such dose response relationship have been successfully estimated for several microbial pathogens and specific foods. For example, Listeria monocytogenes illness from cheese, Salmonella in poultry products, Listeria monocytogenes in ready to eat food, etc. It is evident that data obtained through controlled human clinical trials are superior to establish a dose response relationship in comparison to those obtained from epidemiological investigations. While conducting hazard characterization, it is necessary to consider some important factors related to the microorganisms, human host and food and environment, which is shown in this figure. As an instance, microorganism can multiply or replicate depending on their interaction with a specific human host as well as environmental conditions. The virulence power and infectivity of microorganism can transform. Microorganisms have an ability to exchange their genetic material from one cell to another cell that may lead to transfer of some specific attributes such as virulence factor or antibiotic resistance. The onset of notable clinical symptoms can be significantly delayed following hazard exposure in several cases of microbial infections. Many a times, pathogenic microorganism can persist in human carrier, which lead to shedding, means continued excretion of microorganism and increases the further risk of spread of disease or infection. And the consumption of higher numbers of pathogenic microorganisms by food and likelihood of getting infection or disease increases. However, some microorganism can be potentially harmful even at very low level or numbers. In certain circumstances, specific food attributes like high fat content of a food, high salt content of food or low moisture content of food may alter the pathogenicity of microorganism. In regard to the human host, individual host susceptibility traits including age, nutritional status, health and medication status, pregnancy, immune status, and earlier history of hazard exposure, concomitant infection, increased susceptibility owing to breakdowns of physiological barriers, genetic factors like type of human leukocyte antigen, which is simply called HLA. Moreover, characteristics of typical populations such as persistence of the microorganisms in population, population immunity, and access to medical care or hospitals are necessary factors to be considered during hazard characterization. Moreover, in contest to characterize severity and or span or duration of infection or illness, experts should competent to devise ranking system that further assist in hazard characterization step. Risk characterization represents the integration of the hazard identification, exposure assessment, and hazard characterization determination to provide qualitative or quantitative estimates of the possibility and severity of the adverse effect of any microbial, chemical, or physical agent which could occur in a particular human population. Both qualitative and quantitative estimates can be evaluated by correlating data of independent epidemiological, means outbreak or surveillance investigation that link microbial hazards to the prevalence of illness. Ultimately, the variability, uncertainty, and assumptions recognized in the earlier steps of microbial risk assessment determine the degree of confidence in the final estimation of risk. Subsequently, it is important to differentiate uncertainty and variability while selecting particular risk management options. Generally, uncertainty is related with the data themselves and with the chosen model. The uncertainty of data includes those that may have arisen during the assessment and extrapolation of information gathered from epidemiological investigation, microbiological analysis, and in vivo studies on laboratory animals. Moreover, uncertainties might also come up when efforts are made to exploit the data about the prevalence of certain incidences gathered under one set of circumstances to create estimation or prediction concerning the incidences or events likely to arise during other sets of circumstances for which the appropriate data are not accessible. In addition to uncertainty and variability, sensitivity analysis is one of the essential element of risk characterization. It helps to find out the parameters that mainly contribute to the total uncertainty of the output of risk assessment. Usually, the most frequent kind of sensitivity analysis is the utilization of what if scenario. The person involved in the risk assessment can scrutinize the relative impact of altering various factors in the model by making use of this methodology. As an instance, in the conceptual model, one might find that a change in the dominance of microbial pathogens at the farm has a remarkable effect on risk, but a change in the consumer behavior has an almost negligible effect on risk prediction. In this particular case, the sensitivity analysis result would point out that level of resources must be focused on diminishing the pathogen prevalence at the farm level. Further, sensitivity analysis perhaps employed to make out the critical data gaps also, those factors that drive the risk estimates, however, for which there is only a few data exist. The estimation or prediction of disease connected with a particular microbial pathogen is the ultimate output of risk characterization with specified inherent uncertainty and variability in the assumption and data. The outcome of control measure, if assessed in the risk assessment, is also expressed in the risk characterization. Once the results of risk characterization are validated, it is required to be communicated at a higher level to the risk manager, called risk communication, through proper channel. It will help to take necessary action and measure to manage the specific microbial hazard or risk, which is termed as risk management process. Documentation. Once the microbial hazard as well as risk is identified and characterized, finally the risk assessment must be systematically documented and communicated to the higher authority level, including risk manager by risk assessor, to consider and understand any drawback or limitation that might influence a risk assessment is fundamental to a transparent process and which in turn have a significant impact on decision making. In the context to this, judgment of the expert panel should be acknowledged and their rationale should be explained in detail. With respect to ensuring a transparent risk assessment process, an official record gathering with summary or outline should be prepared and made available to stakeholders or interested independent organizations with the intention that other assessor can reiterate and review the work. Further, it is noteworthy to mention that official record and summary of risk assessment should clearly state any uncertainties, variability, assumption, limitations together with details of their impact on the risk assessment. Now we come to reassessment. Surveillance program should offer an enduring opportunity to reassess the civic health risk linked with particular microbial pathogens or their toxic metabolites in food as new relevant facts, figures and information become accessible. By making the use of microbiological risk assessment model, risk assessor should have prospect to compare the predicted risk estimate with stated human ill health data for judging the trustworthiness of the envisaged estimate. Such comparison emphasizes the iterate nature of modeling, which means whenever new data turn out to be accessible, an MRA may require to be revisited. Now we will come to outcomes of microbiological risk assessment. The foremost significant outcome of microbiological risk assessment is the prediction of the illnesses numbers as well as associated respective severities. Both qualitative and quantitative microbiological risk analysis would help to identify the new exposure sources and population at risk such as elderly, children, pregnant women or immune compromised individuals and to take necessary control measures. Further, outcomes of risk assessment also can assist in reformulating or modify the existing guidelines or approaches to conduct a microbial risk analysis if needed in future. In this figure, you can see an overview of microbiological risk assessment process. Now, analyzing the relationship between specific microbial pathogen and food matrix. In contest to establish the relationship between different foods and associated risk of specific pathogens, a group of scientists prepared a two-dimensional matrix of various categories of food such as raw and heat treated dairy products, meats, seafoods, vegetable, salad, etc. Based on a statistical technique referred to as cluster analysis to group the Listeria monocytogenes related assessment. In that, the simulation output for each food category accounting for the variation in the median prediction as well as the upper and lower bounds of the predicted risk, which is shown in this figure. According to this chart, it can be noticed that delicate meat is considered as very high risk food while unpasteurized fluid milk, meat products and smoked seafoods are categorized under high risk food based on decreased risk per annum. While cultured dairy product like ice cream and other frozen dessert and processed cheese are categorized as very low risk, that is presented in cluster 4E food products. Let's summarize this module. Foodborne illnesses remain an actual and frightening issue in both developing as well as developed countries of the world. Microbiological risk assessment is a tool that endows with a method for structuring discrete information into a well-organized systematic framework. It provides both qualitative and quantitative information and outcomes. It estimates the possibility of adverse health effect taking place after microbial pathogens or its toxic metabolite exposure. It is a science-based approach that serves to interpret diverse types of data, both facts and figures, gathered from different sources to identify and characterize particularly microbial hazards and related information. A careful planning, clear perspective, practical experience, and impressive array of expertise are always needed to ensure the development of high quality microbiological risk assessment. Microbiological risk assessment offers a structured approach of identifying and evaluating microbiological risk in different foods, hence easing the interaction between policymakers, interested independent organization and the general public. Thank you.